Hey, what's up guys, it's Team here, and in this video I want to show you how easy it is to set up a highly converting welcome email flow for your Shopify store. Now we're going to go through it email by email, meaning I'm going to showcase some of the content that you want to be sending to new subscribers, but also I'm going to show you some mistakes that you want to avoid and give you some examples what some of the best performing brands in the industry are currently doing. Here are some facts about me. So my name is Seem. I'm a retention marketer for e-commerce brands. I also own my email marketing agency, and I am an official Klaviyo, OmniSend, and Shopify partner. So let's get into it. So what is a welcome flow? A welcome flow usually consists of a series of 5 to 8 automated emails sent across 10 to 14 days after the user signs up to your email list. So for example, if you were to set this welcome flow up in Klaviyo or any kind of ESP that you have, you would use the trigger of added to newsletter. You want to target your welcome sequence only to people who have never bought from you. So the people that sign up to your newsletter via the checkout page, you want to exclude them from receiving this flow. The goal of the welcome sequence is to convert new subscribers into buyers, obviously, and you're going to do that by using those 5 to 8 emails to answer the question, why should you buy from us over any other brand? So the way I like to look at welcome flows is I like to treat them as sort of like first dates. So for example, if you go on the first date, you don't ask the other person to marry you right away. You obviously have to talk about your values, talk about what interests you, your hobbies, your interests, whatever. I like to look at welcome flows the same way. You first of all talk about your brand mission, you introduce the founder, you talk about the brand story, you showcase some of the best selling products, maybe you throw in some social proof. Essentially, you treat it like a nurturing sequence and you're warming them up before you ask them to buy. So let's talk about the actual flows and the emails that you want to be sending. So the first email in the welcome sequence is usually just like a welcome message where you introduce your brand, you give the incentive. So for example, if someone signs up to your list via a pop-up form, and usually you give something in exchange, maybe like a discount code, like a free gift, then you want to deliver the incentive in the first email right away. And you don't want to hide it because that's what the user is usually looking for. You can also talk about your brand mission and you showcase the best sellers. So you don't want to really convolute this email too much. You want to keep it simple. Just deliver the incentive, introduce your brand mission, and direct them back to your website. Email 2 is where you talk about your brand story. So here is usually when I like to give the brand a personality. So you introduce the founder. I would even make it a plain text email, meaning you don't use any images or graphics, you just use text and you write great direct response copy. So here, usually you send this from the founder and you talk about your brand story and the problem sort of you're solving for the customer. Email 3 is all about social proof. So before the first 2 emails is where you talk about your brand, you talk about your mission, your founding story, and now it's time for your customers to do the talking for you. So in this email, what you can do is you can include some of your best reviews or some of your best testimonials. Even better if you can tie this to a specific problem that you solve. So for example, if you have a problem solution type of product, you can sort of nitpick these reviews and add them to the email that showcase how your product has helped different customers to solve that problem. Email 4 is about zooming in on a customer story. So for example, you can take one review or one longer customer review, and even better if you can interview that customer and to get even more from them. So you can showcase like a before and after photo if that's something that's possible with your brand. And here start adding some urgency. So as I mentioned, you offered probably like a welcome offer or you ran a welcome promo. So in the email 4, what you can do is you can start saying that the welcome offer is starting to expire, just to give some urgency and give the user a reason to buy right away. Email 5 is where you answer some objections. So chances are people who join your email list, some of them are ready to buy, but some of them also have some questions or objections that you might need to overcome. So what I recommend doing here is sending like an FAQ email where you just answer some of the objections that they currently have. I would go into your meta ads comment sections or your customer support tickets so you can see and really shortlist those questions that you need to answer in that email. And here again is where you would add some urgency around the welcome offer expiring. So if you can see that the user didn't convert from any of the 5 emails before, then you want to really double down on the urgency around your welcome promo. So you can just say that the welcome offer is expiring. You have a last chance to redeem your welcome offer, and just to give them that reason to buy now. Because here you have already kind of done all the hard work. You introduced your best-selling product, you showcased the problem that you solve, your USP, etc. Now it's just time to give them a reason to buy right away, just by saying that the welcome offer is about to expire. So here is what the actual flowchart might look like in Klaviyo or any kind of ESP that you use. So as I mentioned, you use the trigger added to newsletter. The filter is placed order 0 times because you don't want existing customers to receive this flow. So the first email you send right away, and then you wait 1 day, or depending on if the product that you sell is more expensive, then you can also kind of drag this welcome flow out to like 30 days if you think that the buying cycle is longer for your brand. So here are some examples of mistakes. So some brands, they simply just send one plain confirmation email, which is very boring. Or some brands, they hide the welcome discount code and make the user like scroll and look for it, which is not ideal. And thirdly is when you add too much information in one email. So for example, here, this email, I would easily cut off here. You just give a welcome message, you talk about your brand mission, introduce some of your best-selling products, and then in the second email, you talk about how your brand got started and your brand story. Bonus tip that I have for you is adding a quiz to your pop-up. So for example, what 8 Sleep has done here is saying that you can unlock a surprise by answering the question, what's your biggest sleep challenge? And depending on the problem that they have, you can then even personalize the welcome sequence. So for example, if the person is feeling too hot or cold, or if they simply can't fall asleep, then you can recommend specific products based on their answer. Same here. So if they have a problem with oily skin or dry skin or a combination of both, you can also tailor that welcome sequence and give more personalization to the consumer. So that's it. I hope it was useful. If you need any help setting up a welcome sequence, then there's a link in the description to work with me below. So I hope this video was useful, and I'll see you in the next one.